Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here on Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and then I'd be able to supply my best to your inbox on a daily basis. If you like the watches, you can see them and buy them on thewatchbox.com. We have high-res images, all boxes, papers, and accessories as applicable are included in the listing, and we always give full pricing for this and every watch available on thewatchbox.com, where you can buy, trade, and sell. The watch on my wrist is a special piece, a Rolex Date 8. This is the 18248, not 238. This is the 248, the extraordinary 36 Date 8 in yellow gold with bark President bracelet, bark bezel, and a linen tritium dial. There's a lot going on here. So the watch is easy to wear. First of all, it has a serial number in the mid-L range, which means it's a roughly 1989 late greed is good era Date 8. That was the heyday for this kind of style. So the watch is a wonderful period piece in addition to hailing from watchmaking royalty. 36 millimeters across the round of the case. That's not including the crown. The watch is fairly chunky, as all Date 8s are, 11.9 millimeters thick, with a generously sloped case flank and conical bark dial. You'll find that it easily slides underneath both jacket cuffs and sleeve cuffs beneath. Lug-to-lug, two ways to measure this one. You can measure it actual lug-to-lug. I rarely see these placed on straps when the bracelet is available, but 44 is the measurement lug-to-lug. If you're going to wear it on the bracelet, and frankly, who isn't, then the solid end links of the bracelet extend at 47.2 millimeters across the wrist. For you crazy folks who want to put it on a strap, 20 millimeters is the lug spacing. Now you can see it's perfectly proportioned to fit my wrist. I believe you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference, and that even with the bracelet. Now we can get the watch close to the camera and in focus because we're done with our wrist shots, but this is a watch that deserves close examination. The combination of the President bracelet and the bark texturing, which is an uneven rusticated striation that runs horizontally, creates a unique look. It plays with the light in a different fashion. It seems almost pre-industrial and very handmade in its aesthetic, hence the name bark. There is a randomness and a sort of organic quality about these patterns. You can see outboard, all satin finish, inboard though that bark pattern leading to a classical Rolex President bracelet crown clasp. The watch is nicknamed the President, folks, but the bracelet has always properly been named the President, not nicknamed the President like the watch itself. The crown clasp, the only cue as to where the bracelet parts, this one is in outstanding condition with very little stretch, and this is fully deployed with the clasp open. The watch is a survivor to be sure, as all of the original textures to the metal, both bark and satin, are completely intact. The character lines of the lugs remain sharp and firmly creased. There's absolutely no confusion as to the partition point between the lug hoods, which are satin finished, and the polished flanks. You'll note that the bark bezel is in some fashion similar to the engine-turned bezel, but again, there's a randomness and a individuality about these such that no two of them are created exactly alike, whereas the engine-turned bezels, though perhaps in absolute detail no two are alike, they are much more consistent about the width and spacing and length and depth of the striations. The bark, like tree bark, is more random. Now the dial here, and perhaps you could see it best from this angle, is what's known as a linen dial in Rolex parlance. The terminology of Rolex collectors describing the cross-hatching pattern, which, like the bark, is somewhat uneven in depth and texture and stroke weight. So it's not so much that there's simply a pattern on the dial, it's that there is a measure of randomness to it, kind of like the expressed threads of linen as sewn. The dial itself features a number of characteristic late 1980s Date 8 cues, including baton-style gold indices, gold hands at center, gold coronet, 12 o'clock, railroad track outboard for seconds and minutes, with small stylized Roman numerals at the station of each hour. It is a double quick-set watch, so you can rapidly set both the day and the date should the watch run down or encounter an irregular length month. Of course, it is an original tritium dial, signed tritium. The small plots of lume on the dial have aged so that they're beautifully consonant with the tone and color of the gold linen dial itself. So this watch actually works better today than it would the day it left Geneva. Of course, Cyclops eye magnifier for the Date apertures that step down from the dial to the day and the date discs to ease the transition from the plane of the dial to the disc. Screw down crown twin lock, 100 meters water resistant inside, Rolex caliber 3155, double quick set, automatic winding, hacking or stop seconds. It features a 45 to 48 hour power reserve, a full balance bridge with a free sprung index for shock resistance, a Breguet overcoil hairspring for resistance to positional or gravitationally induced timing deviation, and of course it is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. The watch, highly refined and all Rolex in its composition, has the profile of an icon. It's a day-date, and it's a day-date on the President bracelet. But what's key about this one is that with the remarkable combination of original condition, inside and out, that's the dial as well as the case and bracelet, the unusual bark bezel and bark bracelet, this watch has a singular aesthetic, and this might be the dream of vintage Rolex collectors. Get a watch that's like a time capsule piece from one of the truly great model lines that the company has made long term, and then get a variant of that vintage model that pretty much no one else has. And when you combine all of these features with the condition of this day-date, you've got exactly what the doctor, or perhaps I should say, the doctor who collects, finally ordered. You can see and you can purchase this one on our website.